Hi, my name is Walter Hogue. I'm going to make you one of my favorite recipes. This recipe was invented by Chung, who is the owner of the Santa Fe Cafe in Vancouver back in the late 80s, early 90s. It's called pan-fried linguini with prawns. It's a fusion dish. He's Chinese, and he took some kind of Italian and Chinese and put it together. It was the signature dish of his restaurant, actually. So the only thing is, my director here is well, he doesn't like prawns, so we're doing it with scallops instead. You can do it with chicken, you can do it with cuttlefish, whatever you like, doesn't matter. So it's very simple. The ingredients are scallops, garlic, fermented Chinese black beans, jalapenos, lime, linguini, hence the pan-fried linguini, olive oil, extra virgin, and oyster sauce, and cilantro. So first thing we do is we boil our pasta. We're going to make it a little salt. We're going to make it more than al dente, because what we're going to do is we're going to cook this twice. When you make pasta, they call for al dente. I always find that a little bit too soft, but let's go with al dente this time because we're going to cook it twice. How much garlic you want to use is totally up to you. I like a lot of garlic. You need at least a clove per person, minimum. I would go more than that. Messy business, this garlic. There's ways, I've heard of all kinds of things for garlic. You can peel it underwater apparently. I've never tried that, but it sounds like a good plan. The most important thing is to get the best garlic you can get. Try not to buy the stuff that's really bleached white. If it's got purple on the sides and stuff like that, then chances are you bought it from organic market or something like that. You don't want the stuff that comes in bulk. So it just requires a rough chop, because you're going to be frying it up. This is almost like a stir fry. You could even do all this in a wok if you wanted. I use a cast iron frying pan. There's our garlic. Now the jalapenos, all the heat is in the seeds and the kind of this, whatever you call it. Anyway, if you take that out and use more jalapenos, then you'll get the flavor without all the heat. You want it to be spicy, but too much heat just knocks you out. If I were to use, like, I like to use one jalapeno per person, because, well, I like it's pretty spicy, but if you take the seeds out, it won't be a killer, and you'll still get that nice jalapeno taste coming through. Don't worry if there's a couple of seeds in there, no big deal. And it's nice if you can get two different colors as well, just for aesthetics is always good, right? I mean, that's what all the great chefs do their presentation in. Has to be nice. So if you look for color, it helps. People eat with their eyes first, so they say. They look at something, it looks delicious, they already have a good attitude towards it. Chances are they're going to like it better than if they see some bland looking plate. Pasta's done. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to drain this pasta, and then we're going to hit it with cold water right away. Down my pasta with cold water. Now I'm going to just coat it with olive oil, otherwise the pasta, the starches will all stick together. So we get some olive oil in there. This feels pretty good actually. Go like that. Ooh, linguini. So that's ready to go. We're going to put that aside until we're ready to cook it. Cutting this up into strips. You could do rings, you could do whatever you like. I just like the look of it. The one thing I'd like to warn you of right off the bat is that when you're handling hot peppers of any kind, do yourself a favor, wash your hands really well afterwards. I used to wear contact lenses. I was cooking this exact dish and I touched my eye to scratch it and I thought I was going to die. And yeah, it's nasty. The oils on this they're hard to get off, so be careful. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take all my garlic and my jalapenos and my fermented black beans, and I'm going to separate them into halves, because what we're going to do is we're going to cook this in 2 stages. We're going to cook the scallops separately from the pasta, and then at the end we're going to put them together. But if I were to cook them all at the same time, we'd end up with pasta that's not done enough and scallops or prawns or chicken, whatever you're cooking, that's done too much. And we don't like that. We like our things to be just done. You don't want to crowd things, because if you crowd things, they'll steam, they won't brown. The other thing is you want your pan to be nice and hot, and then you put in your oil, so hot pan, cold oil. And it's very, very important that your scallops or whatever you're cooking are also very dry, because you don't want to steam anything here. You want to fry it so that it'll brown. There's all the flavors in the caramelization. So I'm using half of the jalapeno and garlic. With this, and I'm going to cook this up first. Half of the fermented Chinese black beans. And when they say stir fry, that doesn't mean you constantly stir it. That's actually why most people screw things up like this. You need to give it a chance to brown. Oh, that is delicious. The flavor, a lot of flavor comes from the caramelization of your meats and your fishes. There's a lot of sugars present in most foods that we eat. There's natural sugars, and when they brown, that gives you the flavor. All right, there we go. See that nice brown side there? That's what we're looking for. So we don't want to cook this right through, because we're going to be finishing it in the oven with the linguini a little bit later. But first I'm just going to get it sort of half cooked. Let's call it half cooked. You can sort of see what it looks like. We've got some browning happening, and we've got the flavors they're developing. They're unbelievable. This is quite a spicy smell, if you can tell the picture. A little bit of black pepper in case it's not hot enough. It also adds another dimension of flavor. Then, once it's ready to take out of the pan, we're just going to give it a bit of the oyster sauce flavor. So, because that's a liquid, we've introduced a bit of steam. So that's okay at this point, because we've already got our browning. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out, I'm going to put it in a bowl, keep it separate. So that looks good enough to eat already, but it's not. Not ready yet. So. Stuff goes in. Along with the pasta. There we go. We're going to cover the scallops. Just keep them warm like that. At this point, we're just going to cook the linguini and try and get some of that flavor from the garlic and jalapeno and fermented black beans. Mix it up a bit. You gotta remember, this is cold pasta we're starting with, because I drained it and dried it. So I gotta, not only do I have to get it heated up, but I gotta cook it a bit longer because it wasn't completely cooked. So I'm gonna put it, oyster sauce on there, black pepper. Same thing as I did with the scallops. This, by the way, is going to feed 4 people. 1 package of linguini to have 4 hungry people. That's going to sit in the oven for, I'm going to give it 5 minutes. Here we go. I got my timer. I got time to open a cold beer. Oh, I'll give a little plug for my beer. Philips Circle, Vancouver Island. Very hoppy Indian Pale Ale, my favorite. Okay, this is what we're looking for. It's nice and sizzling. Fast and hot. Just sticking half in. Alright. In go the prawns. Let's go scallops. What I'm going to do now, the scallops are almost cooked. Just want to mix it all in. Too bad we don't have smell-o-vision, because this would blow you away. You'll have to cook it and find out. Okay. Back in the oven just for a couple of minutes just to heat everything through. There for a couple of minutes. It's done. Alright. I like to put the linguini on first. Okay. Lime juice on it gives it a nice, it just cuts the little bit of oil in there, gives it a nice citrusy flavor, balances it off a little bit. So then we finish it off. Cilantro. And a piece of lime. There you go. Linguini with pan-fried scallops. Bon appetit.